And now, Mercy in Motion, a special edition of Sarah's Stories from Da Nang, Vietnam.
Hello and welcome to a special edition of Sarah's Stories from South Asia. I'm Sarah Hill reporting from Da Nang, Vietnam. For about a week, we followed Pet International and Hope Haven International. Even a world away, their stories still hit very close to home as they gave people a very special gift, the gift of mobility.
In so many cases, these people have nothing. We know the extent of the problem here is just horrendous.
Nguyen Nhan is a 9-year-old Vietnamese boy. He's never had a wheelchair, never attended school.
Many times the children become too large or heavy for a parent or a caregiver to carry them around, and so they're left at home.
A single wheelchair can cost more than a year's salary. And even if you could afford one, a wheelchair's wheels are often too thin to navigate bumpy jungle roads. So it's not surprising the 20 million people worldwide rely on something or someone to get around. Worldwide, volunteers are lifting people off the ground thanks to a hand-cranked cart. It's called a PET. PET stands for Personal Energy Transportation. In the United States, this man would have a wheelchair. But in Vietnam, one of the world's poorest countries, Thuong Nguyen had to learn to walk without legs. This father of 6 works as a shoe repairman. Thuong lost both legs and the use of an index finger during a landmine explosion in the Vietnam War. Thuong doesn't make enough money to begin to cover the cost of a wheelchair. So in place of legs, he uses 2 wooden stools.
It is not right that fellow human beings are forced to crawl on the ground all their lives, perhaps, simply because they stepped on a landmine somebody else planted, simply because they got polio that was not their fault. It's only right that they should receive the best possible appropriate mobility that we can give them.
These pets are really designed to go where there aren't any roads.
This one lady was so grateful, and she said, it's just going to be wonderful. I don't have to crawl through the mud anymore when it rains. And another lady said, yeah, I don't have to crawl over the sharp rocks and get all cut up.
On this day in Da Nang, Vietnam, the PET Project teamed up with Hope Haven International to distribute pets to people who have good upper body strength and traditional wheelchairs to those who do not.
We don't preach sermons with pets. The pet itself speaks of our love.
PET is a faith-based ecumenical group that started in 1994. Mel West heard a story more than 10 years ago that touched him so deeply, he began a push for a pet. A missionary told of how he almost stepped on a woman in Africa.
Going along, and suddenly right in front of me was a woman on her stomach, and there was a baby sitting on her back or tied to her back. And as I parted the grass, there were 2 little kids behind her. She was just not really crawling, but dragging herself with her arms and kind of helping a little with her leg. Obviously, she couldn't walk. She had come for 3 miles that way to find mobility. It's a great story. It chokes me all up just thinking about it.
In Africa, Honduras, Vietnam, victims of landmines, polio.
I was very surprised to get the first victim of Agent Orange.
Today, 7 states, Mexico, Zambia, and South Africa now assemble or make parts for the PET. This global phenomenon now reaches people in Nigeria, Malawi, Bolivia, more than 60 countries worldwide. A missionary in one part of Africa estimates his area needs at least 100,000 pets. But there are only volunteers and donations to turn out a few thousand a year.
20 million out there, and we're only making a few thousand a year. We're going to have a lot of catching up to do.
The pet project is all volunteer. From the retired airplane mechanic who designed it,
You're not designing something to make money or get recognition. You're designing something for that person you don't know and will never see.
to the volunteer 80-something director who works 11-hour days.
I realize that you give somebody a life is the most wonderful experience you can have, really. And that's what I feel whenever I see someone ride off with one. There goes another life.
Xinh xắn soi đường mong trở nên như ngài.